uh, Oh, it is so nice to go ahead and like come back to drawing. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm very, very blessed to have Sohel ask me to come back. Also, especially during service week, and I'm sure like all of us have served in many different capacities. It doesn't have to be just youth volunteers. But yes, let's go ahead and get started. Have something really special that has a lot of meaning to it. So hopefully you all resonate with this. So let me just go ahead and flip my camera and we should be good to go. Okay. Now, if you do have a question, please definitely use the chat for just for any questions. We'll try to get to it as much as we can or as quickly as we can. However, I'm just going to go ahead and put this over here. All right. So the supplies that you will need for this specific drawing, you're going to need white paper. Specifically, if you have any unlined paper, that would be best, just so it doesn't kind of come in between. What I used here is just Sharpie. That's it. And a pencil, and I just used a red marker. But if you have any other marker or if you have different colors as well, that's good too. And then what we are going to work on today is a lot of just like writing and working on how to use shading, but with letters and like different aspects of shading. So as you can see, I've done shading right over here as normal as I can with a pencil, but I've also tried a new technique with shading with words and objects. Kind of shows like the dimension of how the hands are going to work. So what we are going to do, the symbol of this is basically helping each other. One hand is going to have all the positivities of what a volunteer says to someone who is down. So I will help you. Everything you're doing is great. I'm here for you. Don't give up. And then in this hand, we are going to write some negative comments, but not necessarily too negative where it's inappropriate. We are going to write, why am I not liked by my friends, or I don't know what to do anymore. Why doesn't anyone like me? So this is some thoughts that we have anytime when we don't have other people helping us and going through through life and working through our problems. And then when someone comes in to like provide help, to provide some type of sevas, some type of service, it kind of changes our perspective and we feel that we're together again. And the background that I have, it's kind of like as if these two people, or when two people are tackling a problem together or tackling a service together, they break through barriers, they shatter through expectations. And so that's why I have this shatter effect here. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom out just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. So you'll need a blank sheet of paper, just like this. You'll need your pencil, and then if you have an eraser, that would be good too. This will come in handy very soon. All right. So the first thing that we are going to start off with is making the arm of the hand. So right here, we want to make sure that we kind of outline everything and then put the words in later. We're going to start at the top right corner. So right over here. So see where my pencil is? We're going to start at the top corner right over here, and we're going to start making a diagonal line. It's really good to just kind of make these small strokes right over here. So that way it's not one big thing all of a sudden. So go ahead, make that small stroke off to the line right over here. Now, just like your arm, we're kind of dipping down a little bit. So we're going to continue going, dipping down, kind of like a diagonal. And we're going to stop right there. Now, just like your arm, as if you were reaching, we want to make this motion right over here. We want to make this kind of where your wrist is kind of going down. So that's what we're kind of making this bump right over there. So now we're going to go ahead, make the line going down. All the way down. Okay, so what we are making is basically this motion right over here. Our knuckles, our wrist is all going down. And of course, as you can see, it's not completely in a straight line. It is kind of a little bit of bumps here and there because us as people, we're not made of straight lines. We're made of just like some wonky lines here together. And again, remember, yours does not have to be perfect, doesn't have to be clean lines. You can always retrace it however you want. Okay, now that I have the first part, let's go ahead and make the arm portion right over here. So look at the motion that I have right here. This is where I want to create the second part of the arm. So I'm going to go ahead, start at the right. I'm going to go ahead and start kind of making small strokes, small little sketches to kind of go in right here. This is right by the wrist, right here. We're stopping right there, right by the wrist. Okay, give a couple people to kind of catch up a little bit. Okay, now what we're going to do is now make the thumb kind of make sure that it kind of goes over this way. So this is where your hand needs to go ahead and make a diagonal line this way. For my students that are on, this is kind of, especially if you're in 4th and 5th grade, since I'm a 5th grade teacher, this is an obtuse angle. It's like a wide angle. A little bit of math there for you. Okay, then you're going to go ahead, continue making this diagonal line down. Right there. So as you can see, now it's opening up. It's not closing in. It's opening up. So you want to go ahead and continue opening up. Then you're going to make a straight line down like this. So this is going to be our outline of our thumb. This is where the thumb is going to hold this part right over here. And then we're going to go inwards, a diagonal line, not too straight, just go to curve it just a little bit. Curve it just a little bit. So this is where like the curve comes right there. Again, it does not have to be perfect. Get your layout so far because you're going to add in a lot more detail and erase too. Okay, now what you're going to do now for the thumb, you're going to go ahead and make a little curve right around here. Going to make a curve right around here. As you can see that I'm doing very light strokes, not drawing too hard. Okay. So far what we have made, let me show you, is this arm right over here. Just this part right over here. Okay, let's go ahead, kind of curve it in like this. Go ahead and curve it in right there, because this is where the other person's hand is going to go. Okay, may look awkward now, but once the other person's hand kind of grasps the other hand, we'll be good to go. Okay, so now this is where it needs to continue a specific part of the hand. Now, when I'm going to come back on the left-hand side, so from the left-hand side, we're going to go ahead and make the curvature kind of go down this way. So where my finger is going, right here. So we want to round it out just a little bit, right there. So what we made is basically the outer part of that knuckle, okay? In this part right over here, go ahead and make a vertical line going the opposite way. This is where one of the fingers are going to be, and then another finger is going to be right over here. It's kind of like when you're grabbing something, your fingers are wrapping around it. Okay, let's continue. We're going to go ahead, kind of make a line going out this way. Here, let me zoom in so you could see. Right here, I made a line kind of going out, and then I'm going to draw a diagonal line going down, down, all the way down right here, right there. Okay, just pausing so that way you could see. Okay, now we're gonna go back up. Now this is the portion when you grab someone's hand. This is the knuckle that's like right here. Okay, this is the knuckle that's like right here. That's what we're drawing. So now we're gonna go back up. right here. And that's where we've drawn the bottom portion of that knuckle. So right here, what we're going to do is pause because now we want to draw this red part, this second set of the hand. So it's going to look all mushed together, but whenever we add color, it should be okay. Okay, so keep going. Let's go ahead and add a curvature right over here. So a little curve right there, another curve right here, and then the last curve right there, because this is going to be where the second set of the hands are going to go. Now, place your pencil up at the top of this line that we created, this whole round by the thumb, this line. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create the finger. So this right here is a finger that we want to create. So let's go ahead, create one set of fingers, just round it, and then you're going to go down, round the other part. Let me show you again, right here, going down. As you can see, it matches up. So it's just like very, very light strokes right here. And then the last finger, one right here that we're going to make. I'm going to erase a little bit because I notice I need to make it a little bit more proportionate. There we go. Again, remember, this is only the sketch. This is just an outline. When we put in our words, it's going to come together. Okay. And then last but not least, one tiny finger right here. Okay. So that kind of like makes it that little tiny portion right there. So this is one hand that is holding just the finger so far. Now remember the other person's hand. Oh, I completely forgot about the lines here. So let's just go ahead and add one more line right here. We can't just have a person with 3 fingers. Okay, there we go. And then their thumb is right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're add that thumb right here, off to the side on the right-hand side by the big thumb right here. Go ahead and add a little, kind of like a semicircle. So go ahead and put a semicircle right here. So far you should have one main hand done, and then just a portion of the fingers of the other hand. Okay, just waiting for a couple of you just to catch up a little bit. I can see some of you just kind of still making final touches. All right, now for the arm of the other person. So right here, we're going to go by this knuckle from here to here is where we're going to draw the arm going out. Okay, so now remember, this is about the dimension. We don't want them to be the same width apart. So we're going to have one arm kind of going up this way, one arm kind of opening up wide this way. So let's go ahead and start the top line. So we're going to draw a horizontal line. Again, small strokes. It does not need to be in a complete straight line. So notice how it's kind of going up right over here. You want to continue going up all the way. Okay, make it go all the way up. And do the same thing on the bottom line, but this time opening up wide. So right here, you start narrow, but you want to keep opening up wide. So kind of put your pencil towards open part. So notice how it's not the same line in the same distance. They're actually opening up wide. It's kind of like making a wide motion right there. Okay, so now you have one person holding the other person's arm or hand, and then you have another person grabbing the other person's hand. That is the base. This is where the fun part comes. So this is where your markers come into handy. So what you're going to do, so far you should have like the outline of all of this. This is the outline. Again, do you see how like messy it is? It's not completely perfect because there are no lines that we're going to have at the end. You're going to take your dark colored marker that you have and a light colored marker. So if you have a dark color and a light color, that works best. So I'm going to use red and black. And we are going to start with a lighter color marker. It could be any color that you want. You don't even have to use black, but any color that you want, because it is your drawing. You are the artist here. It is your masterpiece. So we are going to start with the hand that is on the left-hand side. Okay, we're going to start on the left-hand side. What I want you to do is we are going to write some not so nice thoughts that sometimes we have. Especially if you're a kid or if you're a young professional, sometimes we think about people not liking us or not being in like a specific group. If we're any age that we are, sometimes we think about what is more that we can do with our life. So let's go ahead and just write this stuff down. If we didn't have anyone to help us, what are some things that you think about that are just kind of bring you down a little bit? So sometimes I think about, why does bad stuff happen? This is really, really cool technique because you get to write however you want all the way throughout, but stay within the lines. Do not go over the lines. If you have extra space right here, don't worry, because more words and more letters are going to go there. So again, so you can write, why do I feel tired all the time? I want more friends. I feel alone. And these are thoughts that all of us have, and that's okay, because anything that you feel that you want to be vulnerable and get out there, definitely go ahead and write it down and see. It's in no particular order. Even if you misplace anything, that's okay. Okay, so see how I came to this line right over here? Now I'm going to go back to the sides where I have gaps, and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the opposite way. So I'm not going to write like this anymore. I'm going to fill it in and write the opposite way. So here I'm going to write the same thing that I want. It's like, oh, what is wrong? Okay, so that's it. It's very messy. Now, just like our arms, there is a shading that I want to put right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in a little bit more scribbles right there. So I'm going to repeat what I just wrote. So right here, I'm going to write on top of it, I feel alone. I want more friends. I'm going to kind of write on top of here. So now you see it's starting to get darker here and it's more lighter here. When you add words on top of each other, it creates more blocks like this, and it creates it more bunched up together. When it's bunched up together, you can see that it's becoming more solid. But when there's spaces, then it feels like it's more open. So we want to make sure it's bunched up together, bunched up together. If you don't want to write any letters, what you can do, I like using swirls. So you could even use swirls to make it seem as if there's bunched up letters. And that's it. You just want it off to the side. Do not put any more words on this open space right here. No more words here. We want to keep it open because that's going to be our main format. Okay, I'm going to skip this hand and I'm going to go to these fingers right here. So everybody see these fingers? This is where I want to write. So here, let's just write our, again, just any thoughts that you have, sometimes things that you worry. You can write them in English, you can write them in Urdu, you can write them in Spanish, you can write them in any language that you want. Or if you don't want to write it, that's okay. You can just use swirls as well. So one thing I write, I feel like I don't do, see, now I don't have room. So I'm just going to continue writing. Well, in my school, I wish I was more. So I don't have room. I'm going to go to the next finger. So I just keep doing that. Keep doing that. And here, let me zoom in so I can show you how I'm doing it. I'm just writing in a line. I'm just writing in a line. More helpful. I want to be smarter in my studying. Why do I feel left out? Put question marks in there. See, I'm just writing so there's at least enough space for each word to get on there. Because when we want to now draw in more of those bunched up words, want to make it more blocky, then that means I'm going to now go ahead and add in more words on top, but on the edges of the knuckles. When we put our knuckles like this part is lighter when the light hits it, and you see kind of shadings right over here. Does everybody see these like dark shadings? That's the effects that we want to create with these words, not with coloring, but specifically with objects. So what we're going to do is now add in more words. If you don't want to add in more letters or words, that's completely fine. Another thing you could do is just add in swirls right over here. Okay. So I added in swirls right by the knuckles, kind of going up just on the right-hand side of each finger, kind of like this. You could do that, a little bit here, a little bit here. That's it. See how it now, this creates more space. This is more bunched up. That creates an effect of the shading where light will hit it. Oh, and then let's not forget the thumb. If you want, you can just do swirls, or you could write something in there. And then you can just add a little bit more swirls right there. Okay, so that is going to be kind of like our not so happy thoughts that we have hand. And now when we have someone that comes in and helps, there is a person who comes in any capacity. It doesn't have to always be like in mental health or in a physical way. It could be in just like being there for each other and just their presence. Now, this hand that we're going to write, I'm going to write in a dark, and I'm most likely in a darker color. I'm going to use a Sharpie because it's more bold, and that's the one that I want to get across. So on this hand, again, we're going to first make the base, and then we'll add in the bunch up letters off to the sides where we want to create a shading. So the things that we want to write here, we're going to start up at the corner, up at the top, are positive things. What are some things that you're going to say to a person if they feel down? What are some things that you do for a person whenever they are down or if they're having a problem? So some things that I say are, don't worry. Everything will be all right. And look, I'm not writing in a straight line. I'm curving it. So however you want to curve it, think of it as our arm. Our arms are curved as well. So you want to create that curve whenever you write. You don't have to write in a straight line because there are no lines on your paper, or there shouldn't be. So don't worry, everything will be all right. I am here for you. Don't give up. I won't leave your side. You are doing great. Okay, and then you just repeat the same thing over and over again. Think about some things that people have told you whenever they were there for you. Is there anybody that you look up to that is always helping you? And what are some things that they say that make you feel really, really good? So here, I am here for you. I am always willing to help you. Don't give up everything. Again, do you see? I'm not using too much punctuation. I'm just writing in like a format. I'm just following where my lines are going. Okay. Now for Serena, you asked how much things do we draw? So the things, I think what I think you're thinking is probably the words, right? So the words you can do as much as you want. Right now, you just want to fill up the entire hand, okay? So don't give up. Everything will be okay. Remember, try not to write over the red part. Now you want to go around it. Be very careful how you're going to do that. You are amazing. Keep trying. I'm going to kind of twist my hand so I can write a little bit sideways here. I am always here for you. Okay, so that kind of took up a lot of the space. Now I'm going to come down here, kind of write a little bit sideways as well. Everything will be okay. You can trust me. I will help you. Don't ever give up. And if you forget where you drew the lines, go ahead and lightly go over your dark marker, and you can always make the lines like this. So I did that because sometimes it helps me wherever I'm gonna go. Okay. So right here, don't give up. I won't leave your side. You are awesome. Don't give up. Keep, and I'm going to put like going right here. Okay. So again, this is kind of like our base, but it kind of just looks mushed together, and we don't want that to happen. Now we want to create a little bit of shading. Now, how do we create shading without coloring it in? We want to make sure we stack the letters and the words up on top. So what we're going to do, we're going to find a source on the side. So here, you see how we made sure that all of the letters that were bunched up were on the sides of the arm? We're going to do the same thing right over here. We're going to go ahead and add in more words and more, even if you want swirls, you can put more swirls going from here all the way down to this corner by the thumb. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. If you want, you could put swirls, so it kind of creates more bunches, or you can go ahead and keep writing positive thoughts here. So everything that you are doing is amazing. So do you see how messy it looks, but still it gives it that effect that there is a shading that's there. Keep going. I'm going to add some more letters and words here. Be happy. I am here for you. So again, so added more shading. So it kind of looks more darker here and more lighter on this side. Okay, I'm going to add some more letters here. Okay, add some more letters right here. Now we've done the arm.